There is a flaw in the Matrix. And I'm not talking about the world we live in, I'm talking about the Matrix, the movie. Hello and welcome to Unwanted Commentary. I'm Coco and today we're gonna be talking about The Matrix, a movie that most of y'all should be familiar with, but if you aren't familiar with it because you live under a rock, let me give you the synopsis, okay? The premise of The Matrix is that the world we perceive, the world we live in, isn't real. That we live in a simulation that is run by the machines that have taken over the world. That this hand over here, it's not real. It's just something generated by a computer that my real body is hooked up to via USB.
Just kidding, it's a cooler cable than USB.
Basically in the movie,
the evil machines
have trapped all the humans in a mind palace prison in a virtual world. And all the humans are actually just in like little pods in the real world. And the journey through this movie follows Neo, whose goal is basically to free humanity from this prison that the machines have made that humanity doesn't even know it's stuck in. What? Wherein lies
the flaw.
So what if I told you that Morpheus, this guy, was wrong? Even though Morpheus isn't the main character, he's the one who starts Neo's journey to try and save everybody from the Matrix. And this idea, this goal to free humanity from this simulation is a terrible idea. This idea is bad because, as I'm going to explain in this video, achieving this goal would cause the extinction of humanity.
Okay.
Now you're probably wondering, why would this cause the extinction of humanity? Well, let's take a look at what we know. So when Morpheus and the homies freed Neo from the simulation that's called the Matrix, they unplugged him from his pod in the
real world.
And Neo got to see the real world for the first time. And this real world it's terrible. Okay, it's horrible. The sky is scorched. Okay, you can't even see the sun. It's all black and smoke and lightning. And as you know, humanity needs sunlight to survive. Sunlight allows plants to grow, which then feeds the animals, which then feeds us. But we can even take the vegan option. In order for us to even eat plants, we need the plants to be able to grow. And in the real world, this new real world that is controlled by the machines, that's just not gonna happen, okay? It is impossible to feed humanity. What the machines do right now to feed the actual humans is just dissolve the dead humans,
boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew,
and pass on their nutrients to other people, which is kind of messed up, but when you think about it, that's kind of what's happening already. Whenever you drink water, you're probably drinking water that has been in some other human being.
Gross.
So this already by itself is a compelling argument for why unplugging humans from the Matrix would be a terrible idea, right? Humans gotta eat, otherwise if they can't eat, they're just gonna die. And on top of that, the world is scorched. Where are the humans gonna live? You think people are gonna enjoy living in caves? People are gonna be unplugged from this world where they have buildings still and where the sky is in black smoke and fire, and they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm glad that I'm in the real world where I get to live in a cave and I can't even have a Kit Kat bar. I mean, give me a break. See what I did there? So yeah, if after just these two beginning arguments, you don't agree with me that being unplugged from the Matrix is a terrible idea, I really don't know what to tell you. Well, now some of you are gonna be like, Morpheus never wanted to unplug everybody from the Matrix. He just wanted to, defeat the machines. And to that I have to say, what do you think's gonna happen? You think Neo and the gang are gonna defeat the machines? They're gonna be like, pow, 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 die machines, we won, let us live, let us keep Zion, don't destroy us. And the machines are gonna be like, you know what, I agree with you. We're gonna leave you guys alone, and we're gonna keep the billions of people that are stuck in the Matrix alive. We're just gonna run the Matrix and we're gonna let you guys do whatever you want. No, that's ridiculous. If they defeated the machines, the Matrix would shut down, and either one of two things would happen. All the people in the Matrix would be game ended, okay? Because the power would go out while their consciousness, you know what I'm trying to say, while the consciousness were still in the machine. Or the system would just wake everybody up, unplug them all at the same time. Billions of people being unplugged and waking up in their little containment pods with fluids around them, freaking out, being like, why am I naked? Why do I got holes in me? Where is my hair? It would be terrible, okay? There wouldn't be enough people who are already in the real world who are like, you know what, we're gonna be the welcome party. And they're gonna explain, you've been asleep, you've been in a machine your whole life, but now you're awake and the world's dead. So all that nice stuff you thought was in your life, like a house and food and the world and a nice sky, that's all gone. That was all fake. But aren't you glad you're here in the real world? It would be terrible, dude. If I was in the Matrix and that happened to me and I got unplugged and then I found out that this Morpheus guy was the reason that now instead of being at my computer in my house playing some Halo, I was awake in this world with a scorched sky and no internet, I would be so mad. I would pop a mother Another problem I have with the Matrix, which I understand the movie's an allegory for like sexuality and all this other stuff, but let's be a little less big brain and and stick to what people are actually seeing. This whole idea Morpheus has about we're not in the real world, we need to be in the real world. The real world matters. The real world. Who gives a shit if it's not the real world? What even is the real world? Like, let's say that you and I were in a simulation, okay?
This could be some simulation.
This is the real world to us because within the bounds of our consciousness, our little human brains, we understand that this is our real world. Like, we could be in a simulation. We could be in a simulation running in a simulation. We could be in a simulation running in a simulation that's running in another simulation. Like, it does not matter. To us, the real world is the world that we live in. And until we become aware that we're not in the real world, we frankly don't know. And it doesn't harm us at all. Like, personally, as I've said before in the video, I would rather be in this fake world where my mind thinks that everything is real and my quality of life is decent, rather than being in the real world where everything has gone to crap, where you can only really live a miserable life because the environment has basically been scorched and all the infrastructure is gone. I'd rather live in this la la land because in my mind, I'm not suffering, right? It reduces suffering. Like, honestly, if the machines wanted to enslave us for like body heat to fuel their population, the whole reason that was even given for humans being in the Matrix, they could do some much more messed up stuff to extract energy from us. Like they could keep us alive in the real world, not sedated in this world where we're enjoying our lives, and we can just be sitting there and having a miserable life, and they could be draining the power from us. But no, the machines did something good. They put us in a world where at least there's a chance of enjoying it. I mean life in the Matrix still sucks for a lot of people because society is run by humans, and you know how that is.
It's terrible.
But it could be a lot worse, okay? I would rather live in the Matrix than live in the
real world.
The real world.
Like, once the world is gone and the machines have taken over, it's over. It's not changing back, okay? You can't change my mind about that. Because if we, with our current resources, can't figure out how to fix our current environmental problems, there's no way that humanity could solve that kind of problem with a scorched earth as a resource. But yeah, I want to talk about consciousness and what do you think about like if you found out today that you lived in a simulation and you couldn't get out of it, what would you do? Would you like sit around freaking out about it? Or would you just go on with your life? Because honestly, if you can't get out of it, it really doesn't matter. And if you can get out of it, but that would mean living in a terrible reality for the rest of your life, why would you do it? I wouldn't do it. Like, we already have people who don't want to live
in the real world.
Okay, when this movie came out, we had people who were addicted to World of Warcraft. I mean, I think there were people who were addicted to World of Warcraft back when this movie came out, because I was definitely addicted to RuneScape a few years later.
So it turns out I was wrong because WoW came out in 2004 and The Matrix came out in 1999. So nobody was addicted to WoW during The Matrix because it wasn't out yet, but that doesn't disprove my point.
But like, people have been seeking escapes in virtual worlds. I mean, nowadays we have VR. People love VRChat. I love VRChat. I think it's awesome. I mean, I don't want to live there because I know that this is my real world. This is the world I actually have to live in, okay? I eat in this world. I pee in this world. I sleep in this world. I have to pay bills in this world. And okay, I can see how what I'm saying right now kind of contradicts what I've been saying, but it doesn't, okay? In the Matrix, their bodies were taken care of, okay? They weren't eating the best food, but they were staying alive. They didn't have rent to pay in the real world, but they had rent to pay in the Matrix, which was their real world. And I'm just gonna, stop before it gets more complicated than it is. So yeah, this is the flaw in the Matrix. Morpheus was wrong. Don't listen to this guy. He's like some kind of self-righteous zealot who's on some kind of self-righteous holy quest, which in reality doesn't benefit humanity. Like the Smiths, they weren't even a problem before Neo was taken out of the Matrix and he fought Agent Smith, and then Agent Smith became a virus and Agent Smith started infecting everyone. If Morpheus hadn't done any of that, you wouldn't have all these Smiths replicating and taking over everybody's mind, okay? It just wouldn't have happened. Okay, it's all Morpheus's fault. They should have just left it alone. Neo should have just not chased the white rabbit and he should have just sat at his job and enjoyed his life, and everything would be dandy. But yeah, I'm not a fan of all these
self-righteous journeys and doing stuff because
they think it's right. Because in reality, keeping people in the Matrix is not harming them, okay? It's not harming them at all. Like, honestly, who cares if your body's off in some tub, in some human farm run by machines, if you don't know about it, if you're not suffering? I don't think there's any harm in it, but that's just a theory. A theory! Film theory. Thanks for watching, and never share your password.